This is the 5th episode, and here we'll work on the conditional rendering. First, let's create a new component. So open your code editor, open src, components, and here create a new file, conditionalrendering.js. We'll create a functional component, so add function and a component name. Then inside return, let's just add a div tag with the text conditional rendering. So previously, to export this component, we had used export default and the component name. But instead of using this format, we can also use export default at the beginning of the function. This works the same, and personally I prefer this format because it's easy to read and it makes the code short as well. Now let's import this component under app.js. On top, import conditional rendering. Then at the bottom, let's use conditional rendering element. Check the preview and we can see conditional rendering. It means our component is working. For this tutorial, we will create two more components, admin and login. We will render admin component if the user is logged in. Otherwise, we will render the login component. Now, let's create those components. So under this components folder, create a new file, admin.js. Create the functional component, admin. Then inside this return, I will add a div tag with the class box. Inside this div, for the title, I will use the s2 tag. For the content, I will use the p tag. So this is the admin component. Now let's copy all of this code, create a new component, login.js. For the component name, I will use login. I will also change my title to login. Then instead of the content, I will use the form tag. In the input field, I will use a text field with a placeholder user. Then I will create another input field with a type password. And in placeholder, I will add password. Finally, I would need the input submit button. Now go back to conditional rendering component. On the top, I want to import both login and admin component. Then I will create the content variable. So this is to show the actual content, so I will add them inside this div tag. Then I will create another variable is logged in. So this is to know whether the user is logged in or not. So for now, I will just use the boolean value false. Now we can use if-else statement for the condition. So add if statement is logged in. So if the user is logged in, then in this content, I want to render the admin component. Likewise, if the user is not logged in, Then I want to render the login component. Once done, check the preview. And now we are seeing login form because the user is not logged in. Now set them to true. Now it should show the admin component. Great. We can also use ternary operator to achieve the same result. To do that, we don't need this content, so let's remove them. And let's also remove this if-else statement. Now we can add condition directly inside the div tag. So add is logged in. If true, render admin component. If false, render login component. Check the site and we can see admin panel. Now set them to false and we should see the login component. Great. This is the end of this session. In the next session, we'll render the list. Feel free to comment below if you have any questions. Also please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel to get more videos in the future. Thank you.